Hi, folks. Rick Berube here with another Facebook Live on this wonderful Tuesday. Okay, what is the date? 23rd? 23rd of February. All right, we're here today. We're very lucky to have Maria Molina. Welcome to
Hi.
the show.
Thank you.
I should say from the Indian Wells office, too, right? All right, with your lovely manager, Gina. So take a minute, please. Tell us a little about yourself, how long you've been in the business, and all that good stuff, Maria, please.
Let's see. Hi. Nice to be here. I have been in the business for 24 years at this point. It's 24 years in January. I started in Seattle back in January of 1998, and knowing no one and nothing, and built up a nice little business up there that turned into predominantly referral business. I've really enjoyed it. I can't imagine doing anything other than this at this point in life, and frankly, wish I had done this straight out of college. So it's been a nice way to make a living.
It is, isn't it? And it's kind of fun because it's one of those businesses where you get paid what you're worth, and you get to decide what that is, right?
Right, absolutely. The control that you have, your ability to pick and choose who you'd like to work with, what meshes best with who you are, what you represent. Yeah, it gives you all of that freedom and that ability to really take control of your life, and not just from the business side, but also it gives you that freedom in your personal life. So yeah, it takes time and some dedication, but I think it's well worth the effort.
No doubt. And from what I understand, you have a pretty good sales price the area you're working, or don't you?
Over here, yeah, my predominant market is Indian Wells, but I do anything from Palm Springs probably through Indian Wells is my niche market, and yeah, it's pretty robust in terms of pricing, and the buyers that we get looking in this area. But having said that, there's a nice mix here for people who maybe are trying to make a move from the city and getting into something that is more substantial and long-term in terms of a house. So there's opportunity here. But yeah, I love it. It's really quite motivating to be
Yeah.
working in this market. Mhm.
It's a beautiful. I mean, I love because until the pandemic, obviously, I would travel to the offices and do the training, and I it's clean, it's nice, it's new, everything is built well. It's just a really nice area to live and sell real estate. I can see that when I'm out there.
Oh, absolutely. And then not just in terms of homes, but services that are out here are great. They've expanded dramatically from, the time I remember growing up and coming out here with my parents for long weekends and whatnot. And then just all the natural beauty and the hiking. There's really something for everyone here, whether it's the arts or nature, even volunteering opportunities. There's a lot to do. And yeah, services are great. Restaurants are lovely. Overall, just a really nice bunch of friendly people.
Yeah, and especially if you like tennis, golf. I mean, the golf courses are amazing. The tennis courts are. You have Indian Wells right there. Where they play all those tournaments.
Yeah, and all of the great benefits of that Indian Wells golf resort here for members, for residents of the city is just fantastic. Lots of nice little perks. So can't complain about that.
That is awesome, Maria. Okay, so now, what are you thinking about? This market this year, late, half of last year into right about now. How are you? How you doing out there?
Doing well. It's been good. A little bit. We have no inventory, so the challenge right now is really working hard with our sellers, our potential seller clients, to get facts and figures in their hands so that they can make that well-informed decision about putting their home on the market now as opposed to waiting. We've got huge demand from buyers that are coming from the city. The majority of folks that I'm working with on the buy side right now are pretty much Los Angeles. So I think that, going forward into the second, third, and fourth quarter of the year, I think it's going to be a strong market here. It's just continuing to expand. I see the numbers for Riverside County in terms of growth, and it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is pretty impressive. I think I read something that it's basically, your lowest inventory since they've been tracking it. I think it's 17 or 18 years ago. It's the highest appreciation since they've been tracking it, 20 years ago. So it's got so many, but at the same time, the market still feels incredibly healthy. I would call it arm's length. People aren't buying a million investment properties. These are all people who are going to live in the properties, most of them. So it's a very healthy, wholesome, yet completely ballistic at the same time market.
I agree, and I think that's what's changing here. It's really turning into a full-time home area, and a lot of the buyers who I am working with are thinking about keeping a small place in town. It's a younger group. They're still not ready for retirement, but since everybody's been working remotely for the most part, it's an opportunity for them because the market is also strong where they are. For example, in Los Angeles, they're able to sell that home for a nice return and come out this way and buy their ultimate, long-term home and work from here. So I think it's a really nice thing for the area because I think it just helps to build quality of all of the communities. We're seeing that with families as well, with young children who are moving here. So I think it's a real boost for the entire Coachella Valley.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And you mentioned earlier, so the market's incredible. I mean, people are offering over asking price for properties. Why would you mentioned sellers that are waiting? What are they like? What are they waiting for? Are they waiting for the market to get better?
I think some of them are just trying to make that decision of, okay, is it just time for them to be done with the valley and maybe move on to staying in their, cold weather season homes, making that their permanent location. Then I've got a couple of people who were thinking about, upgrading, right? Going to maybe a larger home or getting something that was in a more view type location, but there's nothing there for them really that compares to the home that they're in. So it's making that decision of, do we sell now and potentially get this fantastic big number for the home that we're in, but then what do they turn around and purchase in its place? So it's I think it's very specific to the buyer. It's not a one size fits all, or excuse me, the seller. It's not a one size fits all. I think they all have to sit down and really assess their situation and what they're looking for the long term. So that's where I come in, in giving them as many facts and figures and information that I can provide them so they can make that informed decision.
Yeah, so you're talking about the person who maybe still lives in Washington or still lives in Los Angeles or San Diego and has it as a second home. Excuse me. Facebook Live. You got to sneeze once in a while, even on Facebook Live.
Right.
Excuse me. So you're talking about that person, because, think about that. That's got to be a dilemma because now your second home has appreciated so much and it's worth so much. Do you sell your LA or San Diego or Washington or Oregon house and move there full time, which I bet you're seeing some of that too, aren't you?
I am. In fact, a couple of the sales that I had towards the end of 2020 were just that. They had owned their home here for quite a while. It was strictly a family vacation home, never a rental. And they assessed, they weren't using it as often as they had been over the years. Their families weren't coming down as often because they've got their own lives. So yeah, it's they made the decision to sell, and they're regrouping back in Washington, and then they'll make a decision as to where they're going to go from there, if anywhere. So yeah, it's very specific. It's very, very client specific.
Yeah, I got to tell with all these baby boomers in Los Angeles, San Diego, Washington. I mean, there's a lot of people that own their house close to outright, if not outright. And right. Even like if you're moving from San Diego or Los Angeles to where you are, you look at the prices and you go, whoa, look at what I can get, especially you know, if you're going to Phoenix or Las Vegas. But where you guys
Right.
are, your prices are incredible. So I'm a baby boomer and I don't have to work. I'm thinking if I have to stay in California, I'm going to Indian Wells. I'm going to the desert. I mean, that's a great place to go to, right? Or a
Well,
lot of them are going to
absolutely.
Phoenix market as well. Yeah.
Right. Right. And I think I do think, just kind of piggybacking a little bit on what you just said, I do also think that some of these folks are coming into the valley and they're also getting a little bit of a surprise in terms of where our prices have gone. So it's also educating that buyer that, if you're going to do this, it's probably a good time to do it, because we're anticipating the prices to continue to rise. So I don't want to call it sticker shock, but it's a much more robust market than they anticipated,
Right.
um, that it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And for your sellers that live there already, they're thinking about moving, that's got to be exciting too, because like you say, you have move up, move down, move side buyers there too. I mean, that place has grown a lot in the last few years.
A lot. And, I think especially for the sellers, I have a couple that I'm working with whose primary home really it's in Kansas or Iowa. So they've owned their homes here for, a couple of decades. And they're in a position where, right, they're what they're going to pull out of their home here and take with them to Kansas or Nebraska or Iowa, wherever they're going from, it's substantial. I mean, it really makes a huge impact on their bottom line. So it's a good situation for them. It's a
Yeah.
good place for them to be. So
Right. Can
yeah.
you imagine moving from Palm Springs to Kansas?
No.
People, let me help you. The only people that do that are the ones that have to.
Yeah.
Dorothy
I
and
had
Toto, it's not that exciting, right?
Right. I had some clients who did that. Actually, now it's been about almost 4 years, and and what I saw that they were purchasing there, just outside of Kansas City, was wow, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Based on what they had here in Palm Springs. So yeah, it packs a lot of bang for the buck if you're making that change.
That's true. Yeah, I always noticed, like when I was prospecting as a real estate agent, when someone told me I'm moving to Kansas or Duluth, or Columbus, those are real answers because most people don't move there unless they have to,
Right.
or they have family, right? When they
And then,
say I'm moving,
right.
when they say I'm moving to Hawaii, then that's not a real answer most of the time. But those specific answers are definitely true. Okay, so we know we have an incredible market. We know we have an appreciation. You guys have low inventory. So how are you doing it in this market? Where does most of your business come from?
At this point, the majority of my business is coming from networking. Networking and talking to my neighbors and asking my past clients to recommend me, and that's really where the majority of it is coming. So I've always been a big believer in networking. I'm just expanding that more and more, and still doing some print and getting that out to just my sphere here in the neighborhood. And I'm also reaching out to where I grew up in Los Angeles, in the South Bay at the beach, and running ads out there with AdWorks, because
Mm,
I really feel like I need to expand that geographic touch. And why not? When I know so many people in that area, I should be their agent out here. They shouldn't be using someone from the South Bay. So
mm.
yeah, but I'm continuing to network big time, big time.
Excellent. Yes, your net needs to be working to be networking. Okay. Okay.
That's right.
Right. Right. Tell them a little about AdWorks, like, because that's one of our company tools. Tell them a little bit how you use that and how effective it is for you, please.
Yeah, I have a spear ad here for Indian Wells. I just picked up another. It's by zip code. I do it for Facebook, web, couple of different applications since they offer, you can do mobile, internet, whatnot. So I do that for Indian Wells. I just started that as well in South Palm Desert. And then they're offering what they're calling, I believe it's a geosphere. And that's how I'm reaching out into the South Bay. So I've picked a location where I know lots of people in Redondo Beach, and then you can draw a radius around that address or zip code, and then your ad gets placed out. Again, it's mobile and internet and web searches, and I'm getting a number of clicks on that. So and I do get responses from people who will see it on Facebook, or they'll see it on ESPN. So it's kind of it's a good way to stay in front of a lot of people who I know, because it's done by email. So I know I'm being seen, and so I'm staying present for them in that way. So that's working well. I do that on an annual basis now. So I've been happy with the results.
Good for you. Yeah, and it's not real expensive too, which makes it nice. So, and it does follow them if they're in that zip code and so forth, which is great. So it helps you with your business, getting buyers, sellers, and so forth. So love it too.
Right.
What else you can think of in today's market that's helping you out as far as do your business?
You know what? I just started a campaign with Facebook ads, and it's been really interesting to see the number of contacts and leads that I get through that. So they're pretty much, as they call them, raw leads. So it's an opportunity to capture email addresses, phone numbers, and just reach out to these people. And so I've set them up on now through VAC on the drip campaigns. So it's just another avenue, just another way to potentially convert some of these people. I'm also I just loaded about 700 contacts into the VAC, and set about 225 of those up on drip campaign with the emails and newsletters, and then just my neighborhood. I've done that with the neighborhood report. So it's just I'm just trying to stay in front of people, and it seems to be working.
Well, it definitely is working. You're doing well. So those are two of my favorites too: the newsletters and the neighborhood reports out of the VAC 2.0, which is really a rock star CRM. You're enjoying it?
Oh, I am. It's I've really started to get into it this quarter, and it's really easy to use now that I've gotten into it, and I've been touching it every day. Every day it's, I learn something new, and it just makes it that much easier the next day that I sign on to see what's going on with it. So I'm really going to try and utilize everything on that VAC this quarter, just to get myself set up for the rest of the year. I would have to say I'd highly recommend that. And then the same thing with the website. I just picked up a real viable client who saw me through the Berkshire Hathaway site. So I have to thank Chris Weeder for that, for helping me get that set up at least to a point where it's making a difference. So
Chris the Educator, that's what I call him.
Awesome. He's great.
You've heard of Chance the Rapper. This is Chris the Educator.
That's him.
Exactly. All right, cool. All right, well, you've been doing this a while. You're, obviously had a really good year, having a really good, you're going to have a great year this year. Okay, so my favorite question I ask top producers is, if you could give everybody 3 pieces of advice that are in this business, what would they be?
I would have to start with, first of all, stay true to yourself, who you are. Don't dilute your who you are as a person and your ethics or any bit of that, because I think that all comes back to you. That's what you attract. I believe it's really important to talk to everyone you know. I don't mean come up to their face and say, "Hey, I'm a real estate agent," but definitely it's necessary to make sure that they know who you are and what you do. Listen to what they have to say, answer questions. And when you meet with people, I think it's really important to listen to their words, but read between the lines
Yeah,
and just be open to what they're saying, and realize that there's opportunities there oftentimes that we might just might escape us or ignore it if you're just pretty much just listening to the words and not really connecting with that person. um, I think that's probably what I would have to say. And learn. There's lots to learn from everyone every day. Um,
so true.
just yeah,
Yeah, you know what? In today's world, you mentioned social media too. If you're not being authentic, being yourself, as you said, it's really transparent. Especially if you're going to be doing videos like you should be doing. You know, the old joke, "Be yourself, everyone else is taken." It's very obvious when you're trying to be someone you're not.
yeah. I agree. I don't ever. It's I don't want to present a picture of myself that's just, if I can't produce what I'm telling you that I can produce, I have no business telling you I can do that. I don't tell someone that their house is pink when it's blue. I don't tell somebody that their house is worth $3 million when I know it's only worth 850,000. I mean, I didn't get to I haven't survived the 24 years in this very cyclical industry by not being upfront and truthful. And I think
Mhm.
that's probably the biggest thing is you just have to feel good about what you're saying and what you're doing and what you're producing, because that is what's going to come across to your clients, and that's where the referrals are going to come in the end. You do a good job, it's going to come back to you.
Right. So true. So true. Awesome stuff, Maria Molina. Well, thank you very much for taking your time out today. We really appreciate it. Any final words you want to leave these wonderful people?
No, you know what? About a year ago, I made the move over to Berkshire Hathaway, and I will be absolutely honest with you. In my 24 years of being in this business, this was the smartest thing I did. So it's a great group of people. I think the company overall is just been fantastic for me, and I have to credit some of my success to that. So thank you to everyone. It's been great.
Wow. Well, there's a great, I love it. That's a great testimonial. I wasn't expecting that, but thank you very much. That wasn't
Well,
pre.
it's the truth.
Well, I'm so glad. I thought you were here a couple years, but wow, that's really interesting. So love it. Glad you enjoy it. It is a great name brand, especially in the price range you're in. It helps out a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome. This is feels good.
Well, thank you. We love having you. Let's put it that way too. Okay. So thank you very much, Maria. You're awesome. Everybody else, we'll do this again on Thursday. If I can help with anything, call me anytime. All right.
All
Thanks,
right,
everybody. Thanks, Maria.
you're welcome.